Hey yo, what's going on guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm recording a video on the Faith Mini by cfly. This is going to be my official review on the drone. I have the drone right here, all in its case. First I'm going to show you quickly what you get in the case, and then I'm going to be giving my review on everything the drone has. So first of all, it comes in a nice little case. It's not a hard case or anything, it's flexible. If you guys can, I don't know, there you go. It's still flexible, but it is nice. It does add some protection, and the drone itself and the control and everything is like engulfed in foam. So that's really nice. It's got a really nice rubber handle. This handle is just the right middle ground between being flexible and nice and rubbery and grippy. It's a really comfortable handle. I enjoy it. Right, so we're gonna unzip this here. Now, first thing you get obviously is the drone. I'm going to be talking about this a bit more in a moment. Then you get, hang on, let me just get it out here. Then you get the controller. Then you get the battery for the drone. Then you get the charger for the battery for the drone. So these two would go together. Then you get the sticks that go on the controller. And then in the top you get instructions, you get a charging cable, and you get these wires here, which one side plugs into your controller, one side plugs into your phone when you put your phone in the holder. And that's how your phone connects to the drone. It doesn't connect via Wi-Fi, which is actually really cool. It kind of reminds me of like a DJI style drone, that you don't need to go on a Wi-Fi connection. It's like the link to your phone is dependent on the link from your controller to the drone, which is actually really cool because it reminds me kind of like FPV. Like the further away you get, the worse the signal gets type thing. So it really does make you consider how you're flying and what you're flying around and what you're doing and stuff like that. So yeah, onto my little review here. So I'm going to start with the controller just because that's what you're going to be using the most out of this whole. I mean, obviously you're going to be flying the drone, but you're going to be dealing with the controller. And yeah, so the controller, first of all, the antennas are actual antennas. They have like wires going up into them, which is super cool. Another thing I love is it has a toggle wheel, which allows you to control the gimbal from the controller itself, which is awesome. I do actually like that the gimbal sticks are removable, just because if you're in a situation where you're going to be putting stuff on top of like the bag, you don't want your gimbals to be there in case they break, or like in case the gimbal sensor itself actually break, or in case the stick itself like snaps or something. From what I can tell, they're made of metal, so that shouldn't happen, but that's like a just in case type thing. I like that it has a thing, so if all the batteries on this, like in terms of the drone battery and this battery, if you want to see how much battery you have, you just have to click the power button, and this one has about 75% on it, which is, you know, really good. And then my actual drone battery that goes in the drone, same thing, just click on it, you get your little indicator. This one's empty because I flew it a couple of days ago. In terms of the flights I've done with this thing, I've done a couple of flights. I have done multiple different testing type flights where I test like the range, the camera qualities. I've tested on it the what's it called, like the smoothness of the gimbal. I haven't done videos on all of these tests. You know, I've done one video where I generally went out and did like an edit. I call it an edit. It was a 1 minute long video, and it was of me like watching a train go past like on train tracks, and I turned the drone around and looked, and I flew back over the parks myself type thing. And yeah, it was a good time. That was the highest I've flown. I think it was like 125 meters or something, which I don't know if that's the legal limit or not, but like it was fun it was fun. So yeah, so this is the drone. It's a folding drone. It has multiple flight modes on it, in case you guys are interested in that. It's got follow me with yeah, it's got follow me, orbit mode. It's got a mode called rocket, which is where you put it above yourself with the camera pointing down and put yourself in like a little box, and then when you click start or go, it just goes full throttle, just like whoop, just way up in the sky. And it looks really cool for if you're starting your videos. Like that's how I would start a video, like me just going yoit. But to use these modes, you do need to have a micro SD card in the drone. You know, like it doesn't record to the SD card, but to use those modes, you do have to have an SD card in there. I don't know why when you don't have an SD card in there, like half of these features, it locks them up. And then there's one mode called Droney, which is where you put yourself in like a little bot, like you hover yourself in front of you, and then it goes backwards, like it ascends backwards, you know. And that's cool if you don't know how to do that with the sticks. But the way you literally do that on the controller is you pitch back while throttling up, essentially, you know. So yeah, in terms of the drone, I really like the drone. For 150 quid, it's really like quite good. It can do up to 4K, but the 4K is 15 frames a second, so it looks choppy. It's like the video quality is really good, but it's just like even if you're just flying in a straight line, it looks just, you know, it it's almost like lagging in like a video game or something, you know. So I personally keep it at 2.7K at 25 frames per second. And even, I'll be honest with you, 25 frames per second, if all you're doing is flying in a straight line, just getting like a capture of like the scenery around the drone, you know, as you're flying, it looks okay. Like you can tell it's not like 60 frames per second, but it looks all right. But it's the moment you start yawing and things, it kind of gets a little bit jumpy and a little bit skippy, a little bit choppy, as people might say. So in terms of the videography on this, the only thing I would change is the frame rate. If it had like even just 30 frames per second, I would recommend this to everybody. But I would say this will be best for if you're buying this and you're learning to do filming with a drone. I would recommend this drone. The 2 battery version is just under 200 quid. So it's about 50 quid for the extra battery, which for that, I don't know if it's worth it or not. I'm going to say it's worth it because to buy the batteries individually is 50 quid anyway. Like right now, if I went online and just searched like Faith Mini battery, like individually, they're about 50 quid, you know? So it's really like, you're going to pay the same amount even if you buy the drone individually and then another battery, you know, or like the drone with one battery and then get another battery. So in terms of money, you know, I guess it's worth it. But yeah, so the battery is supposed to last about 26 minutes, which is really good. In the real world, like when you're actually flying, I personally don't fly my battery below 25%. Like if I reach 30%, like that's kind of my warning to like land. It lasts me a good 20 minutes. Like, yeah, like between 20 and 25 minutes is how long an average battery lasts me. Now, if I did actually fly it until the drone does an automatic return to home, maybe I could get that 26-minute mark. But like for me, about 20 minutes is how much I get. And I enjoy those 20 minutes. They're good. The range is supposed to do up to 3,000 meters, like 1 point, is it 6 or I think it's 1.6 miles, which is like 3,000 meters. If there's nothing between you and the drone, like no trees, no buildings, no nothing, I think you could get that. But I personally would not go over 400 meters. That's just my personal thing. So yeah, I really like this drone. The only thing I don't like is the frame rate issue, and also the fact that when you ascend and descend, it's not smooth. Like especially descending, it'll go like 5-6 feet, like fairly like a fairly constant speed, but then it'll come to a point where it just kind of pauses and then keeps going down. And it'll go down a little bit more, and it'll pause, and then go a bit down, and then pause, and you know, and you'll just be there holding the stick down, or like doing the automatic landing, or even just return to home landing, and it will do the same thing. Like it goes a couple of feet, and it'll just kind of go like pause, and then it'll go down and pause. So if you're hoping to get the type of shots where you're like the way that like the camera's pointing down, you're landing beside yourself, I would recommend speeding up the footage so people don't notice that. But yeah, so out of 10, I give this thing like an 8.5. I think it's really good for beginners, especially like I said, if you're learning to fly cinematic. One thing I will say though is you're gonna outgrow this. You know, this is the type of drone where you would buy it, and then like after a couple of years of using it, you would then move up to like a DJI or an Untitled drone. You know, something more professional. You know. So yeah, that's my review on it. I hope you all enjoyed it. There hasn't been any drone footage in this video just because I've already done a bunch of testing on it, and the park I usually fly at, I've done like a good few videos there, so I don't want to just bore you guys with, you know, videos of me flying drones, you know. But yeah, in the future I do have a couple of cooler videos planned. One of my friends got his first car, and we were like, it was like, we weren't saying it's confirmed, but we were saying like, yeah, wouldn't it be cool if you followed us in the drone, like with the drone? So, you know, so there might be a video of that coming soon. I do have a video idea where I'm gonna do like long range flying, but like in the park. So like I'll start in the park behind me, and then fly into the park I'm in, and then go all the way down to the other side where the train tracks are, and then turn left and go all the way around. So that would be pretty cool to do. And yeah, man, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember to like, subscribe. I'll see you all later. Peace out, guys.